Hi folks, yesterday we went on a road trip to Jakarta for the day. Not my idea of fun. Altogether we're away for just over 12 hours because even though Google Maps said it was 138 kilometres from Bakung to the destination and estimated 3 hours and 1 minute for the travel time, it was wildly optimistic, and we knew that right at the start. Because that journey is normally for 5 to 6 hours to the airport, which is about the same distance, so that was just ridiculous. But anyway, we went to have a look at my new friend. Now you'll see my new friend.
This will be delivered sometime soon. So I have to get some clarification on some of the controls in this. At the moment the front door is off because they had an accident with the one of the attachments and broke the windscreen, but I'll fix that. But I shall get a look at this and see what's going on.
Can happen. What's he talking? Mau ngomong apa aku? Biasa. Look, understand.
I see. Good.
Yeah.
Reversing camera. So this is quite different from what is in the manual. The manual shows a different panel entirely, which will be up there, I think. This makes more sense to me. Yeah. Temperature. Yep. A lot of these are similar to what's in the manual, but it's just different positions. The manual shows a panel, I think probably over there, and this makes more sense having it in front of you, and these switches separate here. That's fine. So that's good.
Makanya ini aku juga nunggu yang nggak istirahat biar cepet sih bapaknya biar dia langsung coba gitu.
Itu kan susah tuh keluarnya juga ya.
That was okay. Okay.
Memang sebelumnya ya nggak boleh.
So you will be sitting up on this driving this because this is outside AC. I will be inside with AC. So there's backhoe. So somewhere there is also a bucket, forks, and concrete mixer. Well, this is one.
Wait, sir. Here, sir. Ngaduk. Eksis dulu.
this one. How do you use this one?
This is
Throttle, yes. So how to up and down.
yeah, gas.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so more gas. Show me more gas.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. Should be, here we go. So that's there.
Hydraulic oil.
Hydraulic oil, yes.
This fuel.
Yeah, but I didn't check the level to see how much we
Fuel,
got.
this indicator.
Yep.
Pump.
Yeah, how much have we got? Full tank?
Started.
Berarti akeh sih.
Iya.
Pakai. Ada WC, belakang WC, kamar mandi. Serba operator ya.
Oke.
Thank you for your help.
Thank you, Ustaz.
Ya, makasih banyak.
Ya.
Thank you, yes.
Ibu makasih banyak. Bang, makasih banyak. Bang.
Ya nuhun.
Sami-sami Bu.
Maybe you can tell
tell me again about what your
The questions are?
yes,
can
question.
do, yes.
Yes, the first and second, you must tell me about what the attachment we must installation or
Bucket.
okay, just bucket.
Just bucket.
Okay, wait.
Yeah, bring the others forward with you when delivering, but it's deliver with bucket on there, because what I will do is I will weigh out lifting straps, detach bucket on lifting straps,
yeah, okay.
put on forks, use forks with lifting straps to lift the bucket into Azra's truck.
Bucket or forks? No forks. Yes.
Well,
I think
either one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Forks. Okay. But I need to get straps under the bucket to be able to lift it with the forks.
Yes,
Then
I know.
Then put in Azra's truck.
Yes.
Then go and with forks lift up mixing bucket and put that in Azra's truck also. Then put both of those over the sides of his truck. Then from rear of truck put forks in between the pieces of carrier.
So there you go. Not quite sure, but I think I'll give it a name. Might be Bo, might be Mac, given it's a Bo Mac. But as you saw, it's missing the front door / windscreen. In an early clip there you would have seen the backhoe attachment, which was on the pallet parked in front of it when it was in the warehouse, and apparently when the operator was putting that on the day before yesterday, he succeeded in curling the thing back too much, and the seat on top met with the windscreen. Not ideal, but having looked at the equipment, I guessed at what had happened, and it turned out I was correct. That was exactly what had happened. So there's a post that the seat sits on that it slips into with a bolt across it. So I figure the obvious thing to do when you're fitting that attachment perhaps is to undo that bolt and remove the seat. And that way you can curl the thing back and it won't break the windscreen. But that's something I've learnt through somebody else's misadventure that hasn't cost me anything, because they will replace it obviously. Another thing I learnt was the thing seemed very, very reluctant to turn when using the control. And I think I reasoned out for myself that that's because it was actually on very non-slippy concrete. So I think those tracks were just gripping very, very hard. So when you tried to twist it, it had a lot of resistance to that. So I think once we get on a less grippy surface, we'll be fine. Yeah, so now it's a matter of waiting until they fix up the door and do whatever other tests they want to do, and fix up a couple of things I noticed yesterday, like all of the photos I'd seen and the quote I accepted for the machine showed with the multi-function bucket attached, and on the pallet of stuff they showed me for all the attachments they had a standard bucket. So I queried that, so I'll find out what's happening there. I think based on what I accepted as a quote, I think I'm entitled to a multi-function bucket, but we'll see. What was the other thing? Oh yes, the machine has a number of interlocks in it, so that unless you are seated in the seat with the seat belt attached, you can't start the engine. There's an interlock apparently to disable the engine start with no one seated. And there's also the safety bar you saw in there. There's another interlock on that which says that when that's up, the drive controls should be locked out. Well, I stood in the cab and started the engine successfully and operated the movement successfully, so that those interlocks not working. But there's also an interlock on the door saying that when the door is open, the drive controls are supposed to be locked out too. So I think what's happened probably is they've just disabled all of the interlocks so that they could operate it without the door on it. I put that in my email to my sales rep and said, okay, I just expect all those interlocks to be working when the machine's delivered. So that'll be sorted out. And also, I don't know if it showed up in any of the videos, but when you're looking at it from the rear, there is a upper engine cover, and the back edge of that sort of was in a bit of a dip like that. And I thought, okay, well, something's been pressed down on that at some stage. I said, okay, can you please straighten that out before it's delivered? So now it's a matter of waiting until they say it is ready for delivery, and then I get to drive it home from Panenbang or wherever the closest point is that they can deliver it to. But yeah, so that's the story of our road trip yesterday. You'll see more on this machine as time goes by. One of the questions I had was whether there was an accessory outlet in the cabin, because looking on the electrical diagram for a different machine, which didn't have an electrical diagram from this machine, but a similar machine, it actually showed on the electrical diagram there was an accessory outlet. I want one of those because I want to put a dash cam in there so I can record activities in it. But no, we'll see how it goes. It's not impossible to actually wire one of those in, I guess, if necessary. But yeah, so that was just a preview of my new toy, new friend. More later. Bye.